Welcome back to another episode of ApexThis.Podcast, a chronicle of my journey to start and run a publishing side business. This will be a behind-the-scenes look at what I'm doing to make that happen. I'll share tips and best practices that I learned along the way, tips that you can use to start your very own indie publishing journey and share your voice with the world. Coming up, the May update. I am back. Here we are in May. Well, technically it's June while we're recording this, but I've come to you with the updates from May. In the previous episode, we kind of cheated and gave you a Q1 2021 review, combining multiple months within one. So now we're back to the monthly. Let's see how long I can keep this up. But I won't bore you with the details. Let's jump right into it. So, the primary focus for the month of May was the weighted short story revisions, the weighted cover design, and the secondary focus was the ApexThis.Podcast, the one you're listening to now. So, how did that go? Let's see what the hour breakdown was. Total hours worked in May for ApexThis was recorded at 20 hours and 14 minutes. And here's how that broke down. 10 hours and 35 minutes were for working on the short story weighted. And that includes short story edits and cover design. Next, 3 hours and 47 minutes was spent on the ApexThis.Podcast and preparing the Q1 2021 update, as well as the accompanying YouTube video. Then we move to our miscellaneous items, and that is admin time at 5 hours. And admin time includes email, finances, taxes, planning, and website updates. So there were a few website updates to add a projects page on the ApexThis website and on the author page as well. That was a little fun to get into some web development there. Then for finance, there's no financial changes for the month outside of the standard expenses. I know I don't talk about those anymore, but the standard expenses include website hosting, podcast hosting, mailbox, and things of that nature. Though, of course, when things do come up, such as my investment into Vellum, for story formatting, book formatting, I would definitely share. So overall, in summary, it was a good but slow progress over the month. Most of the time was being consumed and spent in my copy editing course. If you refer back to previous episodes, I did state that I was entering a year-long course for copy editing. The first course that I've taken on is Grammar Lab, spending 10 weeks into all aspects of grammar. And then that ends in early June, and then beginning in early July will be my Copy Editing 1 course for light copy edits. And I'll be doing that and likely be providing this service or doing this in the future. We'll see. The month of May and continuing into this second quarter was a little bit slow, but I still made progress. So now that I'm on a brief break, I'm kind of flying through my task, or flying as quickly as I can between personal things I want to get done and ApexThis. But the big task for the month to celebrate for May was the completion of the weighted editing revisions. I gotten feedback from beta readers and critique partners, and consolidated all that feedback and other changes that I wanted to make. And it's done. So that was a big thing to complete for the month of May, in actually completing the revisions for the weighted short story. Went through 5 total rounds of revisions, and now we'll be working on finalizing the ebook cover and the story formatting using Vellum to make sure that it looks good, testing it out on the iPad and Kindle to make sure that everything looks good as you would expect. And then hopefully we'll see if all that comes to a triumphant end where we can release weighted short story at the end of June, or if we will have to punt it off to the next month. So that covers kind of our focus areas for the next month: the weighted cover, the weighted formatting, and the weighted publishing. Will we be able to complete all of that and get that out the door, or will we push it a little bit to give us a little bit more time before the copy editing course begins again and all my time is restricted? Small steps lead to big change. So we'll see what the month of June brings. Thanks for joining me for this brief episode on the May 2021 update. I hope to see you next time.